One, what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're going to be talking, it's a slow news day. So I'll start out by saying we're going to be taking it from an aspect of devil's advocate today. So what we're going to be doing is asking, listen, as a minority myself, we're taking it from a devil's advocate standpoint. Why shouldn't I, yours truly, why should I not consider voting for President Trump? Slow news day, taking it from a devil's advocate standpoint. I'm stepping forward suggesting that Trump looks favorable. Why on earth should I not consider President Trump? Many folks would argue under President Biden, the border has become a mess. Others would argue under President Biden, inflation, the cost of goods and services are outrageous. Many folks would argue under President Biden, the entire planet looks like it's about to go to war. So I'm going to play devil's advocate today and ask that single question. Why should I not consider voting for President Biden or President Trump? What's wrong with Trump? Even the Democratic side of the aisle does not favor President Biden with any significance. Overwhelmingly, the votes coming from the Democratic side are anti-Trump votes. There's not a lot of love for Biden. So today, devil's advocate has emerged on a slow news day. Why the hell shouldn't I vote for Trump? Trump is looking really good. And many of you folks are aware that he just scored another small victory down in Fulton County, Georgia. Whereas Fani Willis, 6 of her charges have been dropped. 6 of her charges have been dropped. She still has not emerged victorious, even knowing that she's going to remain on the case. We should get a ruling by Friday, letting us know if Fani Willis is going to be taken from the case. If she's taken from the case, her whole damn legal career may be in jeopardy. She's looking very corrupt, looking like she may have perjured herself in regards to her relationship with her subordinate. So why shouldn't I vote for Trump? Why should I not vote for Trump? That is the topic of discussion today. Real quick side conversation. We generally have a couple topics we discuss. Number one, DJ Julio, thank you. So if I'm leaning towards Trump, why the hell shouldn't I vote for Trump? A lot of good things under Trump. We're going to talk about it. But the second smaller topic, Louisiana governor, who I forgot to put down the name for my homework session for this particular topic, but the governor of Louisiana, as of July 4th, Independence Day, just signed a law that at age 18, you can now carry a concealed weapon. At the age of 18, without a permit, essentially nothing is required but your 18th birthday. At that age, you can now carry a pistol, not tell anyone you have it on you. What do you think? Do you think that might be a good idea to perhaps bring down crime? As of your 18th birthday, starting July 4th in Louisiana, you can carry a concealed weapon without a permit. So we're going to be talking about those two things. You know how the program is run. It is and always will be MAGA friendly. And since I'm considering voting for Trump today for the sake of this broadcast, understand where I come from. This is a devil's advocate sort of program. And liberals are always welcome. But you know how we run the program, folks. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. So you're going to hear commentary that you may favor or think is total lunacy. That's how the program is run. Always has been about free speech, always will be. So going into the box, into the comment section, South Carolina has basically done the same thing. I did not know that. So at age 18 in South Carolina, you also can carry a concealed weapon with no permit. Wow, no permit. That's what we're talking about. Gun crimes have gone up since our concealed permits were not required in Kansas. I don't understand why we continue to think the solution to gun issues is more guns, but that does seem to be the mindset in America. But I want to know from you folks, why should I not consider President Trump? Does seem to be on the roll, does seem to be living up to the Teflon Don fantasies. We know what the economy was like, global affairs not really happening under Trump. Why the hell shouldn't I consider Trump? That's what we're talking about. Going straight to the box, we'll make it go with Wing Ding King. Good afternoon and welcome to the program, Wing Ding King. Good afternoon.
What's up, bro?
Not much at all. We're taking it a different route today. Why the hell should I consider Trump?
So, hey, man. In a way, man, you got your right to choose, man. If you want to, you think that that's the best thing for you.
What about the best thing?
That's the best thing for you individually.
What about the best thing for the country? What about the best thing for?
Let me tell you why you shouldn't vote for him.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Jesse the Body Ventura, right?
Okay.
Jesse the Body Ventura said he's been knowing Trump for a long time.
Okay.
And he realized that he wouldn't become a Democratic nominee for president, so he chose to go to the Republican side. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but he said the reason he went to the Republican side because he felt like they were dumber, that they will listen to anything he say.
Well,
and agree with it.
I have to counter though. When you're using Jesse the Body Ventura, former governor of Minnesota, he's got caught up on some corruption stuff himself. Is he a real credible? Is he a credible source? Is he a credible source?
Jesse the Body Ventura has been knowing Trump for a long, long time, and when he spoke about Trump and what he said about Trump, and through the years that you hear about Trump, he loved Bill Clinton. He loved Hillary Clinton. He loved them. But he knew he could use that rhetoric where he could change Republicans' mind and get them going, man.
But
exactly what he's doing right now.
Is Trump doing what you're suggesting, or is it that there are so many folks that dislike Trump because they view Trump as an outsider that's going to expose them, and folks are listening to folks like Jesse Ventura because that's what they want to hear? Perhaps Trump is the guy we need, and folks are speaking negatively of him because this is the guy they don't want in office to expose all of this crap.
Oh, hey, man, you make a good point. But wouldn't you consider Trump and his followers a communists?
Explain.
Aren't they communists?
How so?
Because everything Putin does, they's in agreement with it.
That doesn't mean
Isn't Russia considered communist?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So everything Putin does, they agree with it. It doesn't matter what he does.
Okay.
So I consider the MAGA Republicans communists.
Let me push back by simply saying this. If you agree with every damn thing I do, that don't mean you're black. Just because you agree with Putin don't mean you take on the same ideology. You do. How so?
You do. Okay, if you don't believe in the devil, do you take on everything the devil supposedly have done?
No, but that don't. Just because this is the same issue that Black Lives Matter often faces. Folks would suggest
Black Lives. We know that was full of shit, though.
Well, no, hang on a second. Hold on. You got the leadership of Black Lives Matter promoting Marxism. Does that mean everybody who agrees with or identifies with Black Lives Matter is a Marxist?
No, not at all. But all those that did agree with Black Lives Matter, they thought the Black Lives Matter movement mattered to the people.
So
realized that all he was doing was using.
So how can you follow Black Lives Matter and not be a Marxist, but if you follow Putin, you have to be a communist? How does that work?
No, you're a communist if you follow Putin. If you follow anything Putin does and you in agreement with everything Putin does because of what Donald Trump believes in him, the MAGA people that follow Donald Trump believes anything Putin communists of our country right now.
All right. No.
They are the communists, man.
Now, just
Everyone
because
says, if you believe with anything that Putin says, and Trump agrees with everything Putin says, he's always talking about his talking points. It's always Russia. Always Russia. Oh, Putin wouldn't do this. Putin would do this. I like to follow what Putin does. If you do that, you are a communist. You are a communist, man.
So if we have leaders in the Middle East,
you're a communist, though.
Thank you. Understand this is a slow news day. Yeah, you got a echo. All right, Wingdy, I gotta move it on because you did something. There's an echo there.
I love you,
All right.
bro.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care, bro.
I don't know what happened there, but it was an echo. But understand it is a slow news day, so we're taking this day from a devil's advocate standpoint. So I want to be on the other side and ask, why the hell shouldn't I consider Trump? We talked about the economy. Everybody favors $2 gas. In fact, while the liberals are constantly bashing Trump, how many folks feel that a $2, price at the pump, a 33.5% unemployment rate. The jobs numbers under Trump were phenomenal. You weren't dealing with Netanyahu versus Hamas. You weren't dealing with Putin versus Zelensky. You don't even hear the Democrats complaining about the way the country was being ran under Trump. They just hate the guy for the tweets and the insults. So if you favor $2 gas, lack of global conflicts, low inflation, why shouldn't I vote for Trump? What's wrong with re-electing President Trump? The border would be under control. We wouldn't be dealing with this. Perhaps we may need to rethink or reevaluate our decisions. As always, like I said, it is your boy Tim. Feel free to smash the like button for my YouTubers. This is a different kind of program, so I may lose a few viewers today, but slow news day. We decided to take it from the other side. For my TikTok folks, smash that, tap the screen, get your boy on up to around 15,700 of you folks in here. Very low on the likes there. Obviously, I understand why. DJ Julio, yeah! Thank you for the hat and mustache that started out right. Going back to the box indeed. It is indeed the one and only DJ Julio. It's Grifter Day for Tim. How am I grifted? DJ Julio, good afternoon.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. So why shouldn't I vote for Trump?
Well, I would say I'm getting into my vehicle. I'm taking lunch myself, so I can talk without all the noise. If you believe in, what do they call that? Participation trophies. If you believe in letting anybody that can get here be here, if you believe...
Jokes. Thank you. Go ahead. I wanted to point out the hat and mustache from Jokes. Thank you. If I believe in participation trophies, open borders, continue.
Open borders. If you believe it's okay to sniff strangers' kids, vote for somebody not Trump.
Okay. So you too believe it makes sense to vote for Trump?
Absolutely. It doesn't make any sense for me not to vote for Trump. Even if I was a hard left-leaning Democrat, I don't know how I couldn't vote for Trump right now. He's the only one in the running. I mean, I like Kennedy, but you can't hardly understand the guy. I know he's got vocal cord issues, but
well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with Kennedy. Most of the issues that we're really concerned with, he's not discussing. I mean, he's talking more of, vaccinations. I mean, right now, COVID has kind of become that's old news at this point.
Hold on 1 second. To Mo, he doesn't have 91 charges. 6 more of them got dropped off today. I was just responding to your comments.
We talked about that earlier. Six charges down in Fulton County, Georgia. The Fannie Willis case, she just lost 6 of her charges, were thrown out. So is Trump going to emerge victorious? Is the Teflon Don going to beat all of these?
I think so. I don't know how he wouldn't. I mean, I've said it from the beginning, and I have that. I think he's innocent, and you're going to start to see all these charges, and I didn't forget about that $1,000. I'm going to remember that every time I see your face.
So let me ask you this, because I started out by asking why shouldn't I support Trump? I get hammered anytime I make such a statement. In the comments on YouTube, Mac25 says a black Uncle Ruckus talking, meaning that I sold out my entire race. If an African American supports Trump, how did they get away from folks saying that you are a sellout to the entire African American race and culture?
Well, first off, to whoever said that, that is the most disrespectful and ignorant thing I've ever heard.
It's meant to be disrespectful.
That's stupid. Why would you see? That's our division. That's our division in our country. If they don't believe if I don't believe what you believe, I'm instantly, I'm Mexican. I'm a Indian, so I'm a prairie N-word. I'm white, so
I've never heard of that before. A prairie N-word. That's what they call natives?
Yeah.
Damn.
In South Dakota, they used to. Back in the 60s and 70s, that's what we went by.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that before. I'm learning some awful shit. So, but
it's just ignorant. So what I want to tell this guy, and I want to tell you at the same time, is I listen to you, Tim, because you identify as a liberal.
Yeah.
But you have an open mind, and you're willing to hear other perspectives. And I think if we take that guy who says that you ain't basically black, you don't support your black community, I'd like to tell him that you're the problem, sir. You're the problem with the black community right now.
And that is Mac25 on YouTube. I do appreciate your participation, Mac. He's stating that if you're voting for Biden, you're voting for a guy who said you're not even black if you're going to support him. So he is bringing that up. So at the end of the day, Trump is the man to get this nation back on course. Is that not right, DJ Julio?
Yeah, I believe so. America's young. They need an ass whooping. He did it the first round. I think he'll do it again.
And what would happen if Biden gets reelected?
I'm moving to Canada.
I don't believe you, but a lot of folks are saying that. Yeah, I know folks saying. But how do you respond to folks who suggest that if Trump wins, he's going to try to stay in power forever or appoint his kids or something like that?
I would say, as far as conspiracy theorists, that's the biggest conspiracy in the world. You can't dictate future.
Really?
The man wants better for America. He wants better for his kids. And if one of his kids runs and gets elected, good for him. Good for them. Good for her.
Yeah. No, I'm with you that if one of your children ran, George W. Bush is a perfect example of that, good for them. But folks are suggesting that he may try to cheat or tailor things so that his child is the only one that can win, like Putin has done.
Oh, kind of make it like back in the days of the kings and queens.
Yeah. Nepotism at its finest.
Well, I suggest that the people that are hating against him try to figure out a way to understand where he's coming from and in their own life make it better so that we don't have to look for that. We don't have to.
I do got to move it on, Julio, but last question. My last caller suggested that if you agree with Trump, you're a communist. What say you? Or agree with Putin.
Again?
Agree with Putin, you're a communist.
Again, if you don't know me, how you judging me? That person's the problem.
I think that's
going to judge somebody else is the problem.
All right. I do believe that's a song, too, by the way. If you don't know me, how you judge me. I do got to move it on, though, Julio. Appreciate you coming through as always. Thank you.
Always.
Absolute. Same. Looking in the comments, that is what we're doing today, folks. It is a slow news day. So from a devil's advocate point of view, why the hell shouldn't I vote for Trump? What is it about Trump that would be undesirable compared to President Biden when folks are suggesting he is allowing this country to be flooded with folks that we don't even know who the hell they are? Foreign individuals that have not been vetted from a host of countries, everywhere from China to the Middle East to various parts of South and Central America. Also, folks pointing out that when you go grocery shopping, you can barely afford the damn bill. When you put gas in your car, it is insane, and it hurts your feelings to even watch the gas going in. So, question is, why the hell should I support Trump? Why shouldn't Americans look towards Trump, considering how the country was being ran when he was in office economically compared to now? Also, a side question that we haven't tackled yet. The state of Louisiana, the governor of Louisiana, as of July 4th, Independence Day of all days, you can now, at the age of 18 in Louisiana, carry a concealed weapon with no permit. The only thing you need in Louisiana now to get a gun is your 18th birthday. Do you support what Louisiana is doing? Do you think it's a good idea, perhaps to lower crime? At age 18, as of July 4th in the state of Louisiana, you can obtain a firearm, carry it concealed, and you don't need a permit. Just as long as you don't have a criminal record, which I don't know how much your juvenile record gets sealed anyway, because the moment you turn 18, you're an adult. So the record before was a juvenile record. That tends to get sealed anyway, doesn't it? So what do you think? Think it's a good idea? Looking in the comments, not a big worry for me either way. I'm in Louisiana, so it's not a big deal because you're in Louisiana. I think we would have a conversation on that, especially if you're in Louisiana. Not a big worry for me either way. I see that from Dustin. It has nothing to do with the president. Regardless who it is, prices go up and down. Arletha, appreciate the input, but I will tell you this. When the economy sucks, it's crazy how the liberals start suggesting we don't have nothing to do with this. But the minute it gets better, guess who takes credit for it? When gas prices shot up, you heard nothing but it was the pandemic. Trump left us a disaster. It's price gouging, it's OPEC. The minute fuel prices started dropping, both Kamala and Biden were taking credit for it. So are you responsible or are you not? You can't have it both ways. Today's a devil's advocate day. Why the hell should not support Trump? Going back to the box, appreciate you folks tapping the screen. Get me on up to 30,000 likes as I continue this day on. And certainly on YouTube for you folks, this is an uncivilized, I keep saying it, civilized dialogue from between both sides of the aisle. There is no blocking, banning, or censoring going on here. It's always about free speech every single day. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go ahead and bend over and take this ass whooping. This will be Moo, the Tuxedo Cat, well-known progressive on the program. Moo, why the hell should not support Trump?
So, I'll go off of what you're talking about. You're talking about inflation, right? So you're going to go and vote for the guy who caused the inflation, right? You're going to vote for the guy who blew up the deficit, right? Who gave rich people cuts. They take that money and hold on to it, so the Fed has to print more money. And then when you have more money in circulation, your money becomes less valuable. So if you want to vote for the guy who caused the inflation, be my guest. You said the war in Israel. So Trump takes money from Miriam Adelson, and he takes money from AIPAC. So Trump hasn't come forward and even suggested a ceasefire. Biden has, at least a temporary one. So if you honestly believe that a man taking money from AIPAC and Miriam Adelson is going to go against the Zionist state of Israel, you're out of your mind, right?
Well, wait a minute.
If you
Okay,
let's public parklands. You shouldn't vote. Yeah, sure.
Let me interrupt real quick. Now, you mentioned the economy and you mentioned Trump giving tax cuts to wealthy. Moo, I've never gotten a job from a poor person. Perhaps those tax cuts will leave business owners the funds to create more jobs and do more for the folks at the bottom that's looking to work.
Well, you said you care about inflation, though, right?
Well,
you can't have it both ways, my dude. Do you want inflation to go down or not?
Well, there may be a
obviously, the unemployment rate is just fine, right? Because Biden has better job numbers than Trump. So why you would vote for Trump over Biden for jobs either, that makes no sense, right?
Well, the jobs numbers under Trump were phenomenal as well, but we didn't have all this side stuff going on, like the border, like I mentioned, global conflicts, gas prices. We didn't have all this happening under Trump.
The border's been going on since George Bush Sr. I don't know what you're talking about. The border's been a problem since before, like, Reagan. So to say that it hasn't been a problem since, since whatever, that's ridiculous.
No, wait, hold on. How is that ridiculous? The number of immigrants coming in this country under Biden is 5 times what it was under Trump.
Okay, well, I guess you better blame Biden for that. I guess the economy's so good that people want to come here, right?
No,
I guess the economy is just
even
the people want to come here.
no, America doing a bad economy is still going to be better than most of the places they're coming from. So they know the economy will eventually get better.
It's not Biden, right? It's the fact. So it's not Biden, right? It's the fact that the places they're coming from are fucked up then, right?
No,
so it has nothing to do with the economy being good or bad, right? It's the fact that we screwed over South America, right? We destroyed Venezuela. We destroyed a bunch of countries down there. We shipped all our jobs over to China instead of making deals with South America. And that's why the border is a problem. Now, you tell me a president that suggested new trade deals with South America, you know, all the murderers and rapists that Trump says, right?
Yeah.
So he's not going to fix the border, my dude, okay? In order to fix the border, you have to start making those countries better so that they don't want to come here anymore. Trump thinks they're all murderers and rapists.
Okay, I'll let you continue, but let me say this in regards to Tess in the comments with Capital saying turn him off. This is a free speech program. We don't dictate the opinions of the guests or folks in the audience. We believe everyone should speak. You may not favor the guests we have now. I'm sure there will be ones in the future you do. But this is not about telling folks how they should think. It's about hearing what everybody has to say. So when you stated, Moo, about the border, under Trump, they had to remain in Mexico before they could request or seek asylum. Now under Biden, any damn body can come here. They're not being vetted. You don't think Biden's screwing up?
I think every president in history has screwed up on the border. Trump didn't do a good job on the border. He wanted to piss your money away on a wall where a wall already exists, my dude. I've been down to the border. There's lots of wall there. I used to live in San Diego. I was in the Navy for 6 years. There's tons of wall all over the place. He's not effective at the border. Now he wants to build a fucking dome, going bing, bing, bong, she on stage while he's talking about building a dome like Israel. His head is a fucking dome, okay? He's a dome head. He doesn't have an effective plan to save the border. His idea is to throw more troops at it, which won't work. The more troops you throw at it, they'll just dig tunnels, they'll swim through the ocean, they'll do whatever they have to do to get in here. The way you fix it is by committing new trade deals in South America, bringing up those economies, which would be prosperous for us and prosperous for them. You start backing away from China, right? You start undoing your deals with China, and you start dealing with South America. That's how you fix the fucking problem.
But you can't just let everybody in until you get those deals done. Move, the people coming in here under President Biden are not even being vetted. Michael Bailey, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. Much respect to you as well. You don't see where Biden is putting this whole country in danger? Sleeper cells could be coming in here.
Now, hang on a second. Now, I want to know how you're telling me that this is all Biden's fault when there was a bipartisan bill coming through that Trump put the kibosh on. Trump doesn't give a fuck about the border, bro. He just wants talking points for his base to give him their money and their votes, to pay his legal fees and to get back into office. That was a Republican bill drafted by a Republican, shot down by the head of the Republican Party. So Republicans don't give a fuck about the border, and let's not pretend like they actually do.
Moo, you're suggesting that Republicans, and particularly Trump, don't give a fuck about the border. Can you explain why it took 3 damn years, most of Biden's administration, before he done anything about the border at all? He was saying there was no problem. Explain that.
My question to you is, why did it take 3 years for a Republican Congress to draft a border bill and then try to put it through? Why did it take the president doesn't write laws, Congress writes the laws. So why did it take the Republican Congress 3 years to do that? You tell me.
Perhaps because Biden and Kamala were lying and saying there was no problem at all. Why would they do that?
So wait, a Republican Congress is going to listen to the so-called lies of Democrats? When has that ever happened in all of history, my dude? And if that is happening, that's a weak-ass Republican Party, my man.
No, but I get your point that the Republicans were not, getting it done either. But Biden was saying there was no problem at all. You don't hold them accountable for that at all?
Wait. One of your people... people in chat just said have fun. I have a Tesla, folks. I don't pay for gas. Moving on. I'm sorry. What was your
Okay.
question?
Biden, and I like those cars, but by the way, Biden, no movement on the border at all. 3 of his years in office, suggesting that there was not even a problem. Kamala didn't even go to the border for 2 years.
Okay, so again, who writes the laws, my dude? Who has to pass a bill so the president can sign it? Who does that?
Yeah, Congress. I get your point.
Congress. Okay, and who's running Congress right now?
The Republicans.
Okay, so there you go. Republicans do not give a fuck about the border because
Okay.
it took them 3 years to draft a bill because they're obstructionists and don't do shit, right? You guys don't legislate. You have Republicans quitting their seats left and right because they're saying that your Congress sucks and you guys don't do anything, right? That's your own party abandoning you because you guys are useless.
Well, speaking of abandoning American citizens, I want to give this one to you coming from Charlotte Pascal on YouTube. The man, talking about you, the man doesn't understand about GDP for one thing. The second thing this is not the comment I wanted to read. Oh, look, the comment I wanted to read was the one about the nursing student coming in, being executed, literally being killed by an immigrant coming in this country. You don't see blood on Biden's hands?
So I want to know how many white Trump supporters have committed mass shootings with blood on their hands at this point in comparison. Let's do that. You want to get into that? How many school shootings have been done by white nationalists? How many? Pretty much all of them. Oh, sorry guys, you missed out on that one, right?
I gotta disagree with you.
More violent crimes than immigrants. The number one issue in the country, according to the FBI, is white domestic terrorists. It is not immigrants coming into the country murdering people.
All right, you're taxing the hell out of me on this devil's advocate day, but let me tell you this. The reason it seems like white nationalists, as you're saying, is who's committing all the mass casualty events is because in the hood, when somebody takes out 2 or 3 drug dealers or rivals, they don't count it as a mass casualty event, which is exactly what it is. They're giving a lot of minorities a pass.
They're giving a lot of minorities a pass. Okay, sure. Do you have any numbers to back that up?
No, but I'm from the hood.
They don't count as crimes, right? They may not be in the same category. Let's look at the statistics. Immigrant crimes compared to good old homegrown Americans committing crimes. Let's look at them all side by side. And I'm willing to bet you any amount of money that you want that Americans, homegrown Americans, commit more crimes than immigrants. Bet you.
No, I don't disagree with that, but you're letting in a bunch of people move that are unvetted. We don't know who the hell they are, coming from nations like China where they should not be coming in through Mexico. What?
Who's not vetting them?
You think they're being vetted? Really?
You think they're just coming through the border, going past the border patrol, and getting bussed across the country by Republicans without anybody talking to them at all? That isn't even sort of likely, right? So what happens is when they come to asylum, they're met at the border by patrol, and then they are vetted and questioned and kept in confinement, and then they are released. People are talking to these people, and then what happens is the Republicans put them on buses, right? And then they send them all over the country so that even if you guys wanted to round all these people up, you've just cost us so much more money to do it, right? And now you don't even know where the fuck they might be because you idiots bust them all over the country. Good job, guys.
Now, I got to disagree with you. I see in the comments, God's given talent said, let me get that bet. And I would take the bet, too, because I'll tell you this. There are several countries where people are coming from that wouldn't even answer the phone if you tried to vet them. China don't, for instance, China, they don't take the people back. So if you contact and try to vet them and see if they murdered anybody in China, China's not going to tell you anything. Some of these folks, it is impossible to vet them.
What I'm going to tell you is consistently, right? And if you look at the statistics, it's true that Democrats are
Okay, I think the whole page went down on TikTok. I guess we got into a topic that was a bit heavy. It happens rarely, though. I'm going to go ahead and appeal it, but for my YouTube audience, I do appreciate you folks that are hearing it. Looks like it went up because some of you folks on TikTok probably came over here. I will appeal the drive, but this actually does happen when you get into controversial topics. LGBT issues and COVID generally leads to it. But the state, what it says, if you believe your live access was suspended by mistake, you may submit an appeal. Now, they violated it on misinformation. Now, most likely, while I submit the appeal, and I agree with the decision, no. And I appreciate you folks that are holding on YouTube. I'll talk to you in a second. But folks watching the program often do not like particular points of view, left and right. Now, this doesn't happen on YouTube very often at all. In fact, I don't think I've ever had it happen on YouTube, but it does happen on TikTok. Whereas what I call the TikTok gods will take an account down on an air of caution without even, any verification. Sometimes it's just a few reports and they'll take an account down. Generally, when I file an appeal, 5-10 minutes, oftentimes I get right back in there. But we'll see what happens on TikTok. If so, if it is down, I just want to make sure you folks know that are coming from maybe from TikTok over here on YouTube. The Handsome Liberal is the account we do the program from on TikTok. We have a backup account, the Handsome Liberal without the final L. So Libera, simply the Handsome Liberal, but take out the final L. And if for some reason this account doesn't come up today, we will follow up. And that the program will continue. It'll just be on a backup account as of tomorrow. So the Handsome Liberal without the final L for any of you folks who also follow the program on TikTok. But while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and continue the program here on YouTube. We now have an audience that is big enough to continue on YouTube independently. This has gotten that way. So the appeal has been submitted on TikTok. While I was discussing, I was actually putting it in. So looking at the comments, it's going to be pretty easy to address all of you folks now, since you are the only audience we have. Unfortunately, there is no way to take callers that I know of yet on YouTube. And we're going to end up having a sideshow eventually, because TikTok's entire existence is in jeopardy here in America. So there could be a time when I don't have a TikTok audience at all, because if the Senate approves the desire to take down Congress, one of them, but they're trying to take TikTok down. Let me just get that clear. They're trying to remove TikTok access to Americans altogether. And that will be an upcoming show. So today, because it is a slow news day, I decided to go devil's advocate and ask that question: why the hell should not support Trump? And we obviously got into immigration and a lot of pro-Trump issues that some disagree with. And it led some folks in the audience on TikTok not to like that. So that's where we're at. Looking in the comments, please, can you say my name, Julissa? If I'm pronouncing that right, there you go. You can be live guest on YouTube, but you need to use OBS and Zoom. I'd have to figure that out. But it's something that will likely happen in the near future if they take down TikTok. I got Russian in the comment section on here. Also on YouTube, I do get far more what they call them trolls. I don't get any of that on TikTok. I don't know why, but on YouTube you get some weirdos coming in. But why shouldn't I vote for Trump? Let me see what your comments are. And I see somebody said Discord. I think we have a decent program here, and I don't mean just myself, I mean you folks as well. I enjoy speaking with you from an uncensored format every day, but I don't have the marketing tech-savvy skills to navigate all of the different social media platforms. So I got to find somebody that maybe does, but I do believe we have a decent product here. The Traveling Man, what does the Democrats have to offer? They brought in migrants to big cities, less jobs for everyone. That would fall under what I'm asking. Why the hell should we not consider voting for Trump? Many folks suggest the country was being ran better under Trump than it is under Biden. So why not? Why not give it a shot? Remember, Trump stated, particularly to African Americans back in 2016, what the hell do you have to lose? Some are saying that now. particularly when they go to the grocery store and try to purchase groceries and the price of every damn thing is skyrocketed. Real quick, the appeal was won that fast. So the program on TikTok is about to continue on, and we'll see. We'll get back to callers, but the appeal did go through. So we'll let you guys know that. Can you please address the case against Craig Calloway? I'm not familiar with what that case is. Let me know if you need help setting it up, Tim. I just finished doing mine here on YouTube. It's fairly easy. Doesn't take long. I wouldn't mind knowing that. So for you folks that are filtering in from TikTok, once the numbers get up, TikTok took the program down, probably got too many complaints. We're playing devil's advocate, at least, from the aspect that why the hell wouldn't I support Trump? So as the callers come back in on TikTok, we'll continue the program on right away. We'll start it out with Stick the Ruler. Good afternoon,
What's
Stick.
going on, handsome?
I don't know, folks. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was in there earlier, and I don't know if it was what Moose said or what, but yeah, they the TikTok gods, so you know how they go when they get down.
So let's get back into it. Why the hell shouldn't I support Trump?
Why shouldn't you? Or
Yeah.
Why should you?
Why should I not consider Trump?
Okay. Well, the whole thing of it is I mean, I don't know where you want me to start it at. As far as you personally, you know, not trying to put skin in it, I just feel like he does not represent you or me, or has nothing good for you or me.
So you're suggesting that if you're African American and you vote for Trump, you're voting against your own best interest?
Yeah, I'm saying that Trump himself has nothing to offer the African American community. I'm saying that he told us running against, I believe it was it might have been Hillary or Joe Biden. I can't remember. He said so much stuff. I can't remember who it was he was running against. But he said, what do you got to lose?
Yeah.
He named everything that he thought was bad, and he thought that would get an ear, in the sense of that it was Joe Biden's fault, and you should vote for him. When we all know that you're saying it as if you're not going to do anything about it.
Let me
say,
okay.
vote for me.
Let me say this: when you say that African Americans are voting against Trump, or African Americans voting for Trump is voting against their own interests, would you not agree that in cities like New York and Chicago that are being flooded with immigrants, without them there would be more jobs available to African Americans? Under Trump, if he gets rid of those folks, so he's promising the largest deportation in history, wouldn't that lead to?
You're going in and out, handsome.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you're going in and out. Yeah. I'll try to finish real quick though, because I want to answer your question though.
Sure.
But you were going in and out.
All right, go ahead. Okay, let me.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me drop him and see. Let me know if you folks can hear me, because TikTok maybe. I see some folks are saying bad connection, even though the device is saying 5G solid. Let me know if it's still doing it, because otherwise everything's okay. You can hear. Okay, so what I was going to ask for folks suggesting that if Trump, gets elected, he's not doing what's in the best interest of African Americans. The counter question was going to be, under Trump, he's promising the largest deportation in history. Wouldn't that benefit African Americans if all of these immigrants that are in cities like Chicago and New York were not competing with them for entry-level jobs? Would that not, help out African Americans at all? Perhaps we need to get around skin color and understand that economically, Trump may be doing what's best. Are we voting on our feelings, or are we voting on our pocketbooks? So today, while we're playing devil's advocate, I need to know why the hell shouldn't I consider voting for Trump? Going back to the box, and I see a whole host of folks. Trump 2024 NLE, I see it. I appreciate it. Rest in peace, George Floyd. You're not blaming George Floyd on Trump, are you? No way you're doing that, right? Vote on your conscience. Says Blazer Jake. I can't go to the grocery store and buy groceries with my conscience, though. I get your point, but I can't pay my rent with my conscience. I can pay it with Trump's economy, some would argue. So we're going to go with that. We'll go straight to Amanda again. Good afternoon, Amanda. For you folks on TikTok, the program had went down. Tap the screen. We need to get up to about 20,000 likes. You know it helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. Amanda, good afternoon.
Hi, Tim. It's always nice being on your live. What's the question of the day?
Why the hell shouldn't I support Trump?
Do what?
Why should I not consider supporting Trump?
I don't know. That's a good question. Why should you not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Folks are telling me that because I'm African American or because I want the best for this country, it would be wrong to reelect Trump. What the hell are they talking about?
Well, I don't know what they're talking about actually, because I think that we're seeing, we talked about in 2016 Brexit, right? There was a large African American movement towards Trump, but we're seeing it more now than we did in 2016. He has upwards of 27% of the African American vote at this point, which is higher than it's ever been. So you're seeing it because you were talking about it. Cities like Chicago, cities like New York, cities like in California are being bombarded with illegal immigrants in their neighborhoods, shutting down their schools because they're housing them in their schools. They're running out of places to put these people. So African American communities are suffering at the hand of the Biden administration, losing jobs, losing places for their kids to go to school because they're shutting the schools down to house illegals. So how is that putting African Americans first?
Yeah. So how do I respond to folks that would suggest that by me asking the question, why shouldn't I vote for Trump, or considering voting for Trump, or even voting for Trump, I'm losing my hood card. I'm not African American. I'm going against my culture. I'm going against my race. How do I respond to that?
I think that we have put race into politics way too much, and it's not the everyday American, right, putting race into politics. It's politicians putting race into politics. It started the first time he ran. He's the biggest racist on the planet when it's factually untrue. So they pushed that narrative for 4 years, and they knew that they could get an emotional response by pushing that narrative. I would say look at policy and not a person supposedly what they said or didn't say. For the whole 2016 election, all we heard is, will you denounce white supremacy? Will you denounce? He did it 37 times. Does he need to do it 87 times? Does he need to do it 97 times for it to be factual? I mean, take race out of the dadgum politics. And I would say to you, if people are asking you, you're going to lose your hood card, really? For what? Voting for a policy that might benefit?
Well, the belief is that...
The guy said before, I'm sorry, but Trump made a point. What do you have to lose by voting for him? I would say, what are you going to lose further by voting for Biden?
Yeah. Well, the folks believe that if you're black and you vote for Biden, you're voting against your best interest. You're voting against, the fight of civil rights leaders and things like that, and you're voting to turn back time. Also, they're going to suggest that you're voting against rights for women. How do you respond to that? Women with abortion rights being handed back to the states and states taking away their abortion.
Women with the abortion rights is playing politics because it didn't overturn anything. All it did was take it out of federal government's hands. It was never intended to be a constitutional right. It was never intended to be the federal government's place to tell you anything to do. It was for states to decide, and that's where it's at. It's your state that is deciding whether or not you can have the right to an abortion. So my answer to that women is if you want a pro-choice or pro-life person to decide what you can do in your state, then you need to pay attention to your state politics and not federal. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you this before I move it.
Taking it away, it's putting it in your state.
All right, fair enough. Let me ask you this before I move it on. Last question: do you think rolling back Roe v. Wade and putting the rights in states' hands, or putting a decision in states' hands, do you think that made no difference? Was good for women, bad for women, or made no difference?
Well, I'm pro-life. I live in a state that has mostly.
I don't know if she had a phone call. You're going in and out. Repeat that. Amanda, are you there?
I'm pro-life. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and your signal's kind of weak, but good, bad, or no difference?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I am actually pro-life. I live in a state that actually mostly banned abortion, and a lot of people are the ban. It's not actually a ban. If you have been essayed or raped, you have to have a police report to get an abortion. That's just fact.
Okay.
And to me, that's great, because the more people that make police reports, the more of these people, rapists and such, we're going to get off the streets, and that protects other women.
Okay. So in
98% of the abortions that we see are elective. They're not because of a rapist or an essay. Sorry,
I hear your
98%.
Okay. You gave me you gave me a fairly long question. So answer, but at the end of the day, you believe rolling back Roe v. Wade was good for women, bad for women, or no difference?
Let's put the question in reality. It didn't roll back Roe v. Wade. It put it in the states.
Okay. Was that good for women, bad for women, or made no difference?
I don't think it makes a difference. If you're a woman and you want to have a pro-choice state, then get out and vote for pro-choice senators and congressmen. Right. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I agree. I do support everyone voting. All right, Amanda, I do got to move it on. We had a little issue with the signal, but as always, it's a pleasure talking to you anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're asking that question from a devil's advocate standpoint. It's a slow news day. Why the hell shouldn't I support Trump? What is it about Trump that folks would suggest that an African American in particular shouldn't support? We're talking 3.5% unemployment rate, a really good economy under Trump, prices of goods and services significantly better. $2 gas, you hear about that all the time. Why shouldn't we consider voting Trump back in office? And of course, the border, many would argue, is a complete mess under Biden. So that is the question we're tackling today. We haven't discussed the side topic too much at all, but that is the governor of Louisiana passing a law that as of July 4th in that state, Louisiana, as of Independence Day in Louisiana, you can now carry a concealed weapon without a permit at the age of 18. The only thing you need to carry a gun concealed in the state of Louisiana is your 18th birthday. That is it. Do you think that's a good law? You think that could bring down crime? Is it something you would support in your state? Those are the two topics. Looking in the comments, Michael Robertson says, no, it was the Obama's economy. Well, it did very well under Trump as well. Does Trump not get any credit for a good economy under his time because, well, he got it from Obama? Is the only judgment Trump can get bad? Real quick, going back to the box, and hang on one second, I do want to clear something up. All right, looking in the comment section here, and for you folks on YouTube, I do appreciate you tapping the screen. Certainly smash that like button. And I think it's I can't pronounce the name, Seabass or something like that. Folks, when you're typing the same thing over and over again, I don't like to block, ban, or censor anyone, but when you're constantly typing the same thing over and over again, you don't leave a lot of choice up to your host, because you're really making the program difficult for others to respond. So going back to the comments, nope, Trump is the best president the United States has ever had. That's strong. That is a strong, strong opinion. Why shouldn't I support Trump? Joey Bag of Donuts. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program, Joey, if the box allows it to work. We're having a little, the show is just not running the way I want it to run today. That's a lie from his, that's a lie from his worst president ever. You think Trump is the worst president America's ever had? Wow. I don't know. The worst ever. We've went through some pretty bad times in this country. President Trump, the worst president we've ever had. Look, I think it's challenging to suggest anyone is the best or the worst. That's pretty hard. But we had a little problem with the box, so we'll move it on. Red Dawn Radio asking that question, why should we not consider voting for Trump? Good afternoon, Red Dawn.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Why the hell shouldn't we support?
Always good to see you.
You too. Why shouldn't we support Trump?
I think that you should. I think everybody should. I think that if the immediate response from some of the last people in the box is skin color, that just kind of shows you the programming that the entire country has been through when it comes to Donald Trump. And they don't know the real history of who he was in the community, the civil rights community, before he became president.
Well, and let me say this before. And by the way, Heath, with that, I just seen that. Heath, I saw the tail end of that. Thank you very much for your support. Now, you're saying that Trump with the civil rights movement. Explain that. Elaborate on that.
Particularly with like Jesse Jackson. So when he ran for president, Trump funded his campaign. He donated a lot of money to Jesse Jackson. There's plenty of stuff out there where you can look into it. Trump supporting
904.
The different civil rights leaders out there.
But folks would suggest, I get a lot of folks, particularly my beloved MAGA, that would suggest Jesse Jackson is a racist. Do we give credit to Trump for supporting a racist for president?
I think it's more of the deed. He saw that a black man was running for president, and he thought it was a good idea to support the guy. But we could hold everybody to the same standard of are they a racist or not. And if that's what we did with every single different position that we appoint people to, it would just be a mess. It would be a mess.
So at the end of the
Biden, gave the eulogy at Robert Byrd's funeral. He was the Grand Cyclops.
Well, let me even though I'm on the devil's advocate side, let me explain that eulogy at Robert Byrd's funeral real quick. And I would block me too. I want to thank you for that duck. I didn't ignore that. I seen it. I was letting my guests finish, but I do appreciate you folks that are showing support. I would block me too. Appreciate that. One of the things I want to say, Red Don, because that comes up often, in addition to vote for me or you ain't black in the crime bill, which Biden definitely deserves his criticism for. Senator Byrd is one where folks don't tell you the whole story. Senator Byrd, former KKK member, actually changed and saw the error of his ways. By the time he died in 2013, I think it is, he actually had become favorable to the NAACP. He was working with them. He was working with civil rights leaders of the black community. And when you mentioned his funeral, Obama and Jesse Jackson were at his funeral. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, Senator. So the story they're telling you about Senator, it's incomplete.
He did try to, in a way, repent for some of the, for the fact that he was in that organization. Let me just say this loud and clear: Trump never was. Okay. And he when they asked him to, what was the guy, David Duke, when they asked him to denounce him, Trump did it like, what was it, 37 times?
Well, Trump did originally say he didn't know who David Duke is. You believe that?
I didn't really know. I had no idea. guarantee.
Yeah, but David Duke ran for president. Trump's running for president, and Trump is a lot older than you and I.
Yeah.
He would have been
I
a.
don't want to get bogged down in the racial stuff, sorry, man, because look, at the end of the day, I think Trump made it a better country economically for everybody.
Okay.
All ships rise with a rising tide, and that's Trump's motto. That's kind of like the standard that he likes to run the economy with. And I've been speaking a lot to minorities, both Latino, Black, because I do some Uber and stuff on the side. And everybody I've asked, sometimes I'll just point blank ask, if you had to vote for, like, if the election was tomorrow, who would you vote for? I'm not going to lie, man. Nobody has told me Biden so far.
Wow.
Not one single person.
What part of the country you're in?
I'm in Florida.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're in a deep red state. I don't know if you get the same answer in New York or Illinois somewhere, but fair enough.
Exactly,
you're speaking to is it Hispanics? Is it Blacks? Who are you speaking to mostly?
Blacks, Jamaican, which I guess you would consider, Islanders or whatever.
Right.
And then also Haitian and Latinos as well.
All right, fair enough. So Trump is the man. So in other words, I don't lose my black card if I support Trump.
If they would revoke the black card from you for voting for somebody that you liked, do you really want the black card?
It's an interesting point to make. That's it. Real quick before I let you go, though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand. I want to ask you this other question before I let you go, because we haven't tackled this topic. What do you think about Louisiana passing a law, which is officially going to take place as of July 4th, that allows you to carry a gun, a pistol concealed as of 18 with no permit?
Well, I'll tell you this: the criminals, okay, the 18-year-olds that are up to no good are going to do it anyway. So why shouldn't the law-abiding 18-year-olds be allowed to?
Okay. So you feel confident that most 18-year-olds are mature enough to carry lethal force?
I can't say most. I know I was. I'm down here in Florida. I was raised on that whole thing of safety and what to do, what not to do, but. I believe that, like I said, the people that are up to no good, the criminals or whatever, the gangs, they're going to have it on them anyway. Yeah. At 18, 17, 16, they don't have a limit because they don't follow the law. So law-abiding 18-year-olds should be allowed to, in my opinion, yes. All right,
with no permit or anything, just 18th birthday, you're good to go.
I think they should have to, go through your standard background check to buy the pew-pew and everything. As long as they pass that background check and as long as, everything's purchased legally, I think they should be able to do that. Yes, sir.
All right. Fair enough. Appreciate it, Red Don. Good talk. Come on back anytime.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right. So we're talking about both of those subjects. And I see in Sapphire asks, why do you need the black card? Why not just the American card? I get that question often asked. And let me just interrupt by soliciting that you folks tap the screen on TikTok. We had the program interrupted until we appealed through the censor. So get your boy on up to 30,000 likes. We generally do about 100,000 likes a day, but that's not likely to happen today because of what happened. But certainly would appreciate if you folks tap the screen. It helps bring more MAGA to the page, but liberals are welcome as well. That is the FYP. It is more of a conservative site, but I would appreciate if you folks show support. Feel free to smash that like button on YouTube. 300 plus of you are in here on YouTube. Now, the question asks, why do you need the black card? Why not just the American card? Because folks are suggesting, why don't we just simply get race out of this? It's difficult, folks. I get the point. It's a legitimate point to make, but it is difficult to undo something that has been done for so damn long. We, particularly minorities in this country, have been identified based on our race most of American history, and folks are trying to get us to stop doing it to stop and turn around on a dime. It likely may happen over a period of time, but I always say this in regards to history. You can't do something one way for hundreds of years and then snap your fingers and expect it to stop. It takes time. Don't think of it as, something moving 2 miles an hour. Think of it as a locomotive going about 100 miles an hour. It takes time for it to stop. It's not going to happen overnight. We've been, certainly when a lot of folks that are still alive today grew up during an era when everyone identified people by color. It's just not going to happen right off the bat or right away like that. But I understand folks want it to, but that's just not realistic. Looking in the comments, it has to start somewhere, brother. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But it still takes time to make the change. Good example, I'm from Chicago. Their tallest building used to be called the Sears Tower. Well, it's been sold. It's no longer called that. What do old people still call that building? The Sears Tower. You know, if you got a ballpark in your town, ballparks get sold to different advertisers all the time. I bet you still call it what it used to be called. It takes time. Name Barber with the super chat on YouTube, friend of the program, because y'all can revoke my American card out of convenience because I'm black. Wow. But my black card will never get removed for being an American. That's strong shit. And it's almost like the statement is kind of like, because the hood will always welcome me back. If you're black, you understand that statement. But from a general aspect, because y'all can revoke my American card out of convenience because I'm black. But my black card will never get removed for being an American. I'm playing devil's advocate, but damn, that brought me home. All right, going back to the box, and appreciate that name, Barbara. Stop drinking the juice, says 408. I don't know what the juice is, but going back to the box, last guy referred to as the juice got away with killing a couple people, did he not? So, hey, juice it is. Going back to the box, I don't know the name of the viewer we're bringing up. Whoa, the judge... Yeah, hang on one second. In the comments, and thank you, Dark Frank, for the confetti. Jay talked about the judge just canceled 6 charges from Fannie. Yeah, we discussed that earlier, and hell, Fannie might get canceled her whole damn. Trump is winning pretty good in terms of those 91 charges, but the name here, what is the name? What is your name there?
It's Asante, but you can just call me Tay.
Okay, Tay. All right, good afternoon, Tay. Why shouldn't I vote for Trump? As an African American, what's wrong with voting for Trump?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah. Is it a bad idea? Maybe you favor it. Should is there any?
I do not. I don't.
Why not?
As an African American?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, firstly, to vote for Trump, to say you vote for Trump as an African American, you are voting for someone who is completely against you. You are voting for someone who is not fighting for you. You are voting for someone who does not have your back.
Let me counter that.
Trump is a racist, bigoted, money-hungry man-child who never gave a single crap about any race, let alone his own. He don't even care about white people. He's using white people to promote himself, but he doesn't even care about races. He doesn't care about other people. He doesn't care about humanity. He cares about the dollar. Okay. He cares about himself.
Let me challenge you on a couple things first. And by the way, Daps15 are on YouTube. Thank you for the super chat.
He wants more money, though.
Well, so, they all do. Come on now. Now they all do. What Biden with the documents he had in his possession. Turns out he kept those documents in his possession because he was expecting to write a book with them. They all want money.
So a book with Trump?
No, Biden. The documents Biden kept in his possession that he's been investigated for all this week. The reason he kept them in his possession is because he wanted to use them to write a book about yeah. So even everybody wants money. That's not unique to Trump.
No, it's not just Trump. I'm not talking about him. Not everybody wanting money. I'm not talking about Trump just wanting money. But I'm saying that is all he values. I'm saying for you to vote for Trump is for you to vote for also just wanting more money for him, for you in some form or fashion. You're trying to think that if he gets more money, somehow you get more money, because that is all he values. And most people who are black and vote for Trump, who are African American and vote for Trump, they always also do speak on the businessman values of Donald Trump, how he's a businessman. And I'm like, why would we want a businessman running our country? Why would we want him selling us out like we are products? We are people with rights, with conservations, with things that we value other than just the dollar. So why the hell would we want that to represent us as a country?
So what about when
as African Americans?
let me take it from an African American standpoint. We got a hell of a lot of
Your
immigrants.
standpoint. I won't let you. I can't let you say from an African American standpoint because you can't speak for all African Americans. But you can speak from your standpoint as an African American man.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Whatever the case may be, but when you got liberal cities like Chicago, New York, places that have a heavy African American and minority population being flooded with immigrants, if you get Trump back in office and he is able to implement the largest deportation in history, which is what he's suggesting, how would that not help blacks? Because they're having to compete with these folks in these cities now. Wouldn't that be helpful to black people?
If Trump deported all the flooding immigrants coming in?
Yeah.
Can you give me an estimate on how many immigrants have flooded in the past year?
Well, under the Biden administration, there's been about 10 million.
10 million?
Yeah.
And can you tell me how many jobs have even been opened up or created in the past years? Biden hasn't done a lot of work with
He hasn't created enough jobs for all of them immigrants to work. That's the problem.
Exactly. That is the problem. That is a problem.
So how does that not benefit African Americans by getting Trump in there if you're going to get him out? Maybe he's the guy to be in office.
Why is our solution to just kick people out who are just trying to also find jobs and make a living than just to create more jobs and to find more ways to make more products to help more people? Why is we just going straight to throw them out? We don't need them. We need our jobs. We need our money. We don't need more people. We don't need more resources. Why don't we just create more resources? Because that takes more effort. Because
they're here illegally. They're here. They have asylum claims that are not going to.
How many immigrants are here illegally?
What?
How many immigrants are here illegally? Could you give me an estimate on that?
Well, because we haven't vetted them, we don't even know. We don't even know how many of them are here illegally. We haven't even properly vetted them to find out if they would even qualify to live in this country at all. Under Biden.
Some people are saying unemployment is down. That unemployment is at 3.7% right now.
Well, because
a lot of people seem to be having jobs.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you think taking in 10 million illegal or 10 million undocumented, call them what you want, but you believe taking in 10 million folks will not affect the jobs numbers at all?
Of course it will.
Okay.
No, I didn't think that.
All right. So if they are put out of this country like Trump is promising, won't that help minorities?
And fail to promote. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
If they are deported out of this country like Trump is promising, wouldn't that help minorities?
I don't believe so.
Why not? Why don't you believe that?
Because we are all minorities. In the sense they are also the minority. We are not helping anything. We are just thinking we are getting rid of a problem when we are not. We are just creating one.
So you don't...
It's not like more people are not going to find a way in here one way or another. It's supposed to be the American dream, right? That's what they're trying to find here. But yes, we need boundaries. We need restrictions. We need rules and regulations. That's never not been said. But to just throw people out, to say we are just going to deport them because we don't need them, because we need our jobs, again, that is not a valid argument, not to me at least.
So let me make sure I get this clear. As long as a person does not have a criminal record or any type of negative history, do you believe they should be allowed to come and stay in the United States to better themselves?
To say the least, in that simple standpoint, I'd say yes.
Okay.
I mean, yes, more things need to be looked upon on that person, obviously, than just, if you haven't been to jail or if you haven't done anything bad in your life. But it's more of like who you are as a person. What can you contribute to our society? If you are you looking to come here to contribute, or are you just looking here to be here for whatever other reason? We need more questions, more regulation, like I said.
And do you think Biden is doing a better job than Trump at giving us more regulation and more scrutiny of immigrants?
Of course not. No, I haven't seen any work in that category on his part. No.
Okay, so based on that, so
any actual contribution from Trump's promises either. I haven't seen a wall. I haven't seen any of the tax dollars that any of his voters put in going towards anything towards deporting immigrants or getting rid of more immigrants or even putting in more jobs. I haven't seen anything about that on both sides. So,
well, maybe you haven't seen it from Trump because the liberals are giving him so much resistance. If Trump had a super majority, if Trump had a Republican super majority in the House and Senate, you don't think that wall would have went up?
No, I don't. But I don't understand.
Why not?
How liberals are giving Trump such a hard time.
Wait.
Like in what standpoint? Financially, politically?
Okay, you don't understand why liberals are giving Trump such a hard time. Is that what
like how are they stunting him?
You just called him a racist.
How does that prohibit Trump in any way? Me calling him a racist, which is what he is.
You said you don't understand why liberals. Do you know what you said you don't understand why liberals are giving Trump such a hard time after you called him a racist. Maybe that's the reason.
I feel like we're both on a different page right now.
We're in a different book. We're in a different book. I give you the last word. Go ahead.
We're in a completely different book.
Yeah.
Because I know what a liberal is, yes, and I'm aware Trump is a racist, yes. I'm aware that I called him that, but I do not understand how any of those equivalent to liberals as a whole stunting Trump's ability to push out his promise to deport immigrants and to build up that wall.
All right, I'll leave it at that. Anytime, come on back through. But that threw me for a loop at the end. I don't know where to go with that. We're trying. I see somebody on Daps 15. And by the way, thank you, Daps, for that super chat. Says, bless her heart. That was a surprise. That we had this conversation where listen. It's a slow news day. So that's the whole purpose of the devil's advocate conversation here today, where I'm asking why the hell shouldn't you support Trump? But to hear her bash the hell out of Trump for most of the conversation and then end it by saying, well, why the hell would liberals be against him? That really, really threw me off. Looking in the comments, have to work with each other. No supermajority is happening. That is true, DeAndre. I don't think there's going to be a supermajority, but you never know. A supermajority is going to be hard in America. I vehemently agree with you, rather. I totally agree with you, but anything's possible. Anything is possible. We're asking a question today, why the hell should we not support Trump? What is wrong with President Trump? We're talking about a good economy, $2 gas, lack of global conflicts. You could afford your damn groceries. Why should we not re-elect Trump? What's wrong with putting him back in office? You don't want America the way it was economically in 2017? You're against that? Why should we not re-elect Trump? Looking in the comments on YouTube, Trump's tax cuts benefited all of us more than most of us will ever understand, says Daps. Trump's tax cuts benefited everybody more than most of us will understand. She's lost CNN. I'm going to move the program on. Thank you for my YouTubers that are indeed smashing the like button. This is civilized dialogue, both sides of the aisle. That's how we run the program. We're here Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. Everyone gets to speak. It's never about telling you how you should think. It's always about hearing what you have to say. So understand, this is an uncensored program. You're going to hear opinions all over the damn place. Why should not support Trump? That's the topic of today's show, Devil's Advocate style. It is a slow news day. And last but not least, the state of Louisiana passing a law that as of July 4th, Independence Day, you can carry a concealed weapon at age 18 without a permit. All you need in Louisiana as of July 4th to carry a concealed weapon is your 18th birthday. Going to the box, R.L. Stafford. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. R.L., Why shouldn't I support Trump?
First of all, I think Trump is his character. He don't have the character. He don't have the character that I think a president need to rally people together.
Have you seen the size of his rallies? What do you mean he don't have a character? His rallies are huge.
No, I'm saying his character. He has bad character. He has bad character. He doesn't have the ability to rally the American people together. He's not inspirational.
Okay.
He's a divider. That's what I'm saying. And number two, Donald Trump, I think, I'm not mistaken, he spent the most money any president have in history. That's why we had low gas prices. That's why we had low groceries, because he blew up the deficit. And now Biden has to dig out of that hole that Trump put us in.
No.
Now, are we willing to let Trump blow up the deficit again? Spend the most money that any president have in history? Now, Biden could have went in and spent $8 trillion and kept the prices low too. But who's going to pay for that in the end? And I think a lot of people are missing that aspect of Trump's presidency. He blew up the national debt to keep prices low.
Well, first of all, let me.
And we're paying for.
Okay, let me. Okay,
paying for Trump's
let me. Okay, let me. Hold on, hang on. Let's have a conversation. Wait, hold on. You're dropping way too much. Let me tackle some of this. Now, you started out by saying that Biden's not inspirational. He doesn't have Trump is not inspirational, and he doesn't have what it takes to bring us together. Do you see Biden as unifying this country and bringing everybody together?
I think he's first of all, let me say this. I think Biden has not driven us apart like Trump. He's not dividing people. He's not out on the stump calling people, the blood and the poison of.
I don't know if my caller got a call. We'll give him a second. You still there? Okay, apparently he got a call or something happened. We'll move it on. I did want to talk to him a little bit more. Yes, Biden is a unifier, says Mink. You think Biden is unifying the country? Okay. If Biden is unifying the country, Mink, why is his poll numbers among Democrats so damn low? Most Democrats would rather see someone younger. Let's talk Gavin Newsom, Governor Whitmer, Michelle Obama. They got a host of folks. Most Democrats, we're not talking about conservatives, Republicans, MAGA, or even independent for that matter. Most Democrats would prefer someone else run than Biden. Wow, I got that wrong. So if Biden is a unifier, why can't he even unify his own party? That doesn't match. That doesn't measure up. Real quick in the comment section, do people honestly think Joseph Biden has brought the U.S. closer together? Says Triz. That's what we're asking. Some folks apparently do, if you ask the last caller. All Native Americans for Trump, says Lumbee Warrior on YouTube. Native Americans for Trump. Wow. I have not seen that one yet. Trump is old. Let him set up the roadmap to better this country called United Company. To better this company called United States of America, says Courtney Berger. Well, he may get his chance. Folks, feel free to tap the screen. Get me on up to 60,000 on TikTok. Over 1,100 of you here for my YouTubers. Feel free to smash that like button. If you will, a subscription can always be valued. Oh boy, going back to the box. Why the hell shouldn't I support Trump? Why should I not consider giving Trump a chance? Going to A. David. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Old girl, thank you for the heart. David, good afternoon.
So I watched you for the first time, your full show the other night, when you after Biden's speech.
Yes.
And you made some very good comments regarding the effectiveness of that speech. And I think what it showed was how he has been misrepresented in many ways by the media, by little snippets and snapshots and gotcha moments, moving the needle away from him. for the majority of people that I know. I'm 59, black, live in South Carolina, transplant from New Jersey. And by the way, South Carolina just got its own open carry bill passed last Wednesday.
Do you favor that?
Am I in favor of it? At one time I was. When I first moved here, I got my kids exposed to guns and pew-pews. We didn't have that in South Jersey, you know. You don't play that in South Jersey. But I think it's going to add more suffering to society in many ways, because I think people are going to be less apprehensive, less apprehensive to react to something, especially as the political climate heats up and as global issues increase as well. You know, people often have mindsets of scarcity, so they think that you're taking something from them, so they have to feel like they can protect it. It used to be called the law, now it's taken into their own hands. But I want to also comment on something you said the other night about why was Trump so effective. And this plays off of why I said Biden, I believe, has been ineffective. And that's because of his marketing genius.
Yes.
He is a genius at marketing.
I concur.
Nothing else. The American populace has been, since the day of Paul Revere, a sucker for a good marketer. So, you know, that's what we buy, we consume. And we have consumed him, and he made himself.
So you would agree that Trump is more of a unifier in terms of his marketing skills than Biden?
I would agree with that. I think the Republicans have done a good job of that as a whole, because the Democrats, which I am a card-holding member, sometimes undereducated in it. But I think that the Republicans have done a better job at the marketing, because they understand people's pain points for real. Because the majority of Republicans come from a business background.
So let me present this to you. This is coming off of YouTube. Joseph Kuhn, certainly thank you for the super chat. Because folks could often suggest that Trump is divisive. Joseph Kuhn said President Trump did not divide us. Corporate social media divided people who can't think for themselves. He's saying TikTok kills critical thinking. Is it that Trump was actually trying to bring us together, and it was just naysayers and folks like never Trumpers that was causing the problem?
No, I think, to be quite, if we're going to be bone-crushingly honest, I think we have to acknowledge that, yes, the larger part of American society is very weak when it comes to critical thinking, but it is no way whatsoever to be put at the foot of social media. It has to be put at the feet of education for the children. They are not taught how to think critically. Going back until I probably was one of the last graduating seniors who actually learned how to think critically. Unless you go to some special schools now, it's not part of our milieu. They're bringing it back a little bit, but you know, for the large part of society, it's a done deal.
So, but Trump himself was not divisive. His lack of education, in your opinion.
No, not Trump's lack of education.
No, the societies. No, I'm not talking about Trump. No, I'm.
And I will say that Trump, he capitalized on, because in marketing and business, you have to identify your audience, right?
Right.
Target your audience, throw your best thing at your audience, and obviously it's always going to be divisive. You don't want everyone anyway. Not everyone's your customer. Right. So
but let me make sure I'm getting clarity though. So Trump himself was not divisive. It was a lack of education from the voters and constituents that led to us being divided. But Trump himself was not doing that.
No, I can't say that, because I can't agree with that 100%. I have to say that yes to the first part. You're right. It was the lack of the educational sophistication or insight or even care of the average voter, right? But Trump did do his role in seeing an opportunity and taking seize of it. He said, yes, this can be a divisive point. Okay, I'm going to use it. He's very well crafted and skilled in how he does that.
But doesn't all politicians do that? I mean, Biden is using it with the abortion.
Again, he's not a politician. He's not a politician.
He's learning it.
He's a politician. That's one of the most favoring parts about him. He was a businessman. That's why he's doing everything in his energy to help business.
So why shouldn't, before I move on, so why shouldn't we reelect him, David? I mean, what would be, based on what you're saying, he sounds like the guy we should put back in office. What say you?
I'm going to go back to what the gentleman said right before me. It has to do with character. The first thing I thought of when I heard him say that was the first thing I felt and I sensed when he said that was how many times I questioned his loyalty to America. How many times I questioned his loyalty to my neighbor because of his relationships, his intermingled, clearly blurring the lines of what would be proper and appropriate, when even his staffing, when it came to them being charged and jailed for compromising their fealty to America. So no, he has in many, because like the person said of you, I think it was a young lady, Ty, he has, he doesn't have any type of commitment. The word commitment is to nothing other than to himself. He will sell out whoever is next to him, in front of him, and back of him. And hey, and sell out, I think, is a good word, because he will, he'll use you for what you want. He'll use a government. He'll use a corporation. I'm from South Jersey. I know people in Philadelphia who lost their jobs, in Jersey who lost their jobs, down in Atlantic City, who he just raped over people, didn't pay contractors, wouldn't take care of people, wouldn't pay his bills. And that's just part of his MO. But he's not alone in that. He's just one of those business owners who said, you know what? And he didn't even want it. He didn't even want it.
Wow.
He didn't want to be a politician. He didn't want to be in government. He just said, you know what? Yeah, why not? I'll do it. And I'll say this as my last point. He's a highly efficient provocateur of human cybernetics and that whole mindset. And if you know anything about that,
I don't. Human cybernetics. No, I don't know what that is at all. What is that?
Well, check it out sometime. I don't really advocate you check it out, but it's a disciplined way of thinking, so that one can basically rationalize and justify their behavior and their antics, as long as it justifies the means.
Okay,
it's justify the means.
I'm learning something. All right, David, this is our first time talking. Obviously, anytime, the doors are always open to you, man. You've been an interesting caller.
Please call me A. David, and I will definitely listen to you more.
Well said. Thank you. Looking in the comment section, Joseph Kuhn states, critical thinking isn't conducive to controlling votes. Public schools have never been about critical thinking. I think a lot of folks would agree with you on that, Kuhn. Certainly that our particularly public schools, you're talking about a public education, it's missing on a lot of valuable facets of life. Certainly, teaching the value of finances and things like that. There's a lot of missing lessons that are of importance in terms of educational value that are missing in the public school system. So I do agree with that. Michael Rousey says, why do we not teach cursive writing anymore? It's archaic. It's getting to be archaic, to be honest with you. I get that a lot of our founding fathers wrote documents in that language. Some of the conspiracy folks will say that they're not teaching kids cursive writing so they won't know how to read the Declaration of Independence and things like that. Hey, I can't go that far with it, but at the end of the day, how often do you write? Now, because I do social media program and I run a YouTube channel and I'm always putting out content, I actually do a lot of writing. I didn't used to do any. I mean, you type, you text, you talk. You don't write much in American society, but because of what I do, my vehicle is literally littered with notes from shows, debates and responses to callers. I have to empty my vehicle out of paperwork probably once a week because it's just, it's like a moving office. And I have a day job, but I'm driving around and shit comes to mind. So I'm always writing. But at the end of the day, most Americans don't write anymore. How often do you write and mail a letter? Unless your ass is in prison somewhere or maybe the military, but otherwise you type, text, and talk. You don't write anymore. So in cursive writing is kind of archaic. That's probably why it's not being taught. You're not going to really use it much. Looking in the comments, it's an artwork and it teaches patience while you learn, says Ron Kane. An artwork maybe teaching patience. I don't know. I mean, to me, you may be stretching it. There are other ways to teach kids patience that don't have to be in cursive writing. That could also involve a skill that they may use as they age. In cursive writing, you're not going to use that much. You're just not. I mean, in fact, when I write, my writing is print, generally in capital letters. I don't write in cursive hardly at all. When my signature is completely illegible, and I'll go back to the box, which is why I had a huge issue when Republican politicians wanted to use signature match in regards to voting. My signature looks different every damn time I do it. So I don't ever believe signature match should be used in 2024. That is really archaic. Going back, moving the program on, the same reason we don't learn Greek, useless. Yeah, I like that name. I agree with that as well. I think in cursive writing, this time is over with. I got my amateur radio license back in 1990, ham radio. I had to know Morse code back then. Morse code is outdated at this point. It's archaic. In fact, if you get a amateur radio license now, you don't need to know it anymore. I needed to know Morse code at like 5 or 10 words a minute. You know, you don't need to know that shit. Some things, you know, it just ages out. Going back to the box, why should I not support President Trump? Talking about the economy, lack of global conflicts. You could pay for your damn groceries. Why should I not support Trump? That's what we're going to be asking to eBall542. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. eBall. If the box lets the guy up, we'll give it a second here. Looking in the comments, I just learned to teletype. What is that? Teletype machines, that goes way back. But, you know, as an amateur radio operator, I've had access to teletype machines, but they usually were like from the 40s and 50s. Is teletype something that's come back around? What is teletype? You said it's some things age out to okays. Wait a minute. You said it's some things age out to okays to be president. I don't get the grammar of that comment. You can't pay for your groceries now. Yes, you can, but it requires some suffering. You didn't used to pay what you're paying right now under the Trump administration. Would you rather not go back to that? Would you not favor the price of goods and services under Trump? By the way, it ain't just groceries, cars, gas, you know, just any restaurant, no matter what you're doing. It costs a lot more for some reason. Fast food, you name it. Under the Trump administration, things were cheaper. Would you not want to go back to that? That's what Trump's promising. Biden is telling you to understand you got to dig in and sacrifice a bit. Why should we not reelect Trump? I can pay now and I don't suffer, says Diane. Well, regardless if you're suffering or not, you're paying more. How about that? You're paying more. Maybe you earn enough that the increase in price is not causing you to suffer, as you state. But you can't deny that you're paying more under Biden than you were under Trump. Continuing on, I don't know what's going on with the box, but warrior for Trump. I already know where this is going to go, but nevertheless, we always welcome everyone to the program. And we're having trouble with the box, though. I just have so much to share as an immigrant. How can I dial? Well, you're on TikTok. In regards to having so much to share as an immigrant, I would certainly love to hear your opinion on immigrants coming in here illegally, not following the rules, jumping the line above folks maybe like yourself that may have went through the entire confusing, costly process of coming here the way you're supposed to, and just literally coming across the desert, running in, getting a visitor's visa, overstaying and staying here, and literally undoing all of the money and time you may have spent coming in here legally. How do you feel about somebody who jumped the line and just did it without following the law? Which could also make it harder for those who are waiting to get in here legally to get in, because we do have a quota. You can't let in an unlimited amount. So if you let's say you can only let in 100,000 per year, just taking a fictional number, 100,000 per year. You got a line of folks coming in legally that's 1 million strong. But then all of a sudden, 50,000, 200,000 come in illegally. Well, that's going to reduce the amount of you folks in line that can get in the right way. How do you feel about that? Going back to the box, we're having real big problems with the box here. So let's try it again. Jules, good afternoon. If it lets you in, Trump is about money. Is that a bad thing? Jules, good afternoon.
Hi.
Hey, I saw you were listening in. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Oh, I think you said why should black people vote for
Why should I? Yeah, why should I not? Even noting the color of my skin, even if I was white, but why should we not consider re-electing Trump?
Because he single-handedly took away health care for half of the population and is proud about that.
How did
that he took away?
Who lost health care? What part of the population lost health care?
Women.
So you're a female. You don't have access to health care now?
I'm referring to abortion specifically.
Right. Okay, so as a woman in the United States,
I go into the healthcare because I'm a paraplegic and I have a lot of information and stories about the healthcare system, if you'd like. But just as, how do you say, you know what? I know that this might be life-saving for you, and this is an extremely scary time in your life. And though this option should be available to you because of my own personal beliefs, you don't get that. And he overturned it. And that's a monster.
So let me ask you this. If women had their health care reduced, limited, or as you say, completely taken away under Trump, why the hell are there so many women that are voting for him? Every rally has a heap of women there. Why are they voting for him if he's as bad as you say?
I don't know. Also, 91 felonies against him. He's a failed businessman. He's filed bankruptcy. He single-handedly turned over Roe. He's proud about that. He doesn't support unions. He supports dictators. And not to mention, he can't control his ego. And that's not how you get things done. You have to control your ego in order to compromise and move forward. And I would say from his tweets and all of this, that, and the other thing, if he's not being monitored, he will self-sabotage.
Well, you think he may self-sabotage. We've seen him 4 years in office, and many folks favored the way this country was being ran during those 4 years. You don't think Trump was doing a good job with the economy and things like that during this time in office?
What I know of Trump is that when he opens his mouth, it's not a representation of me.
Okay.
And for that, I would never be disrespectful to someone in the way that he's been, especially to people of, that are meant to have certain respect. You just don't, that's not how you get to do business.
So let me ask you this way. If Trump got reelected, knowing how America was being ran when he was in office the first time, you could afford groceries and things like what's so bad about him getting reelected? Okay, say you don't like what's coming out of his mouth, but in terms of how the country was being ran back then, what would be so bad about him getting reelected?
He would be what would represent the people.
What do you mean?
Like he's our face to the rest of the world.
Okay, he was our face to the rest of the world then.
I know, and it was embarrassing.
Well, Kelly in the comments, and obviously Kelly is a woman as well, says she's so into herself and her feelings. How do you respond to folks who would suggest voting on what Trump can do for this country? Your feelings are insulted, and you're voting based on how you feel emotionally.
That's 100% correct. Because I'm a paraplegic and I have experiences that you guys don't have. I also have a niece that's in a wheelchair as well. So she has experiences and point of views that no one else has. And the issues that they go after or whatever don't, you get to judge a society based off how they treat their most vulnerable. Mm-hmm. I somehow was afforded that position, and so is my niece. And we can tell you that it is not good. It's not good.
Do you think it's better under Biden?
I think neither one of them focus on any issues that actually benefit the people, individually. I feel like they're both too old, though Biden does have a better cabinet. Trump tends to have family members that have never had any experience in it at all, and friends of his that have no business in office. He's just like, everything about that man does not say America to me.
All right, I do got to move it on, but I'm really sorry to hear what you said paraplegic. That's two, right? That means two limbs as opposed to what quadruplegic. I mean, I'm not totally.
So there's differences. You can be a paraplegic and be your left leg and your left arm. Let's say if you have a stroke, and be paralyzed vertically. You can be paralyzed horizontally. You can be paralyzed from the neck down, which is quadriplegic, or tetraplegic, same thing, or paraplegic like myself.
Well, sorry to hear that. Well, anytime, come back through the program. You certainly will always be respected here, Jules. Really sorry to hear that, but thank you for commenting. Doors are always open to you.
Have a good day.
You too. Wow. All right. Looking in the comments, Costner took $2 billion. Not Kevin Costner. Jared Kushner is what you're talking about. Took $2 billion from the Saudis. Yeah, that certainly is a somewhat of a stain on President Trump, but they're going to bring up Hunter Biden as a counter. We don't know the full gist of Hunter Biden because he's fighting in court. Doesn't he have a history of discriminating against minority tenants in New York? His real estate agents company, yeah, they do. He's had to settle for discriminating against tenants trying to rent apartments or whatever the case may be in his complex. Why shouldn't we vote for Trump? And obviously someone can bring up what he just said. By the way, Terrence Story earlier wanted to thank you for that subscription. We certainly always appreciate getting a subscription every now and then. We get one or two of them a week, and we certainly take you in the box anytime we see you. So thank you, Terrence Story, for that subscription earlier. Yeah, appreciate the hat and mustache. Tap the screen, get your boy on up to 75,000 likes. We got 900 plus of you in here. Could certainly do that on TikTok if you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the program without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you. You are in the right place. You can follow the program on TikTok. Feel free to drop a subscription on YouTube. YouTubers, smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. We are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central. We do believe in letting everybody speak. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you, what do we say? Left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with QAnon. We don't censor callers. We do believe in letting the folks speak. We'll try this again. Warrior for Trump. Good afternoon.
How's it going?
It's going good. Why should I not consider voting for Trump?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Trump. I mean, you were talking about from the black stance. I think, of course, the immigration, the endless open borders. Who does that hurt? It doesn't hurt the rich Democrats in Nantucket. It's going to hurt your black people in all these major cities.
Yeah. Now, I got to say this. I'm going to get, you and I go back a little. We talk a little bit. Now, I had a Trump supporter on yesterday. Now, we were not running the Devil's Advocate program yesterday, but I did have a Trump supporter on yesterday that suggested that the Holocaust did not take place. Now, there are others in the MAGA crowd that believe that. Looking at Trump for the economy and the economic numbers, how do you differentiate that from folks who believe that?
Well, I mean, that's a touchy one. They'll shut your bank account off for talking about that. So I don't know. I mean, I'll deny the Armenian genocide. I'll deny, the Russian genocide, but the Holocaust was exactly the number they say it was, not one less, not one over. Any other genocide is up for question, though. That one you should never, ever question.
So you can't answer yes or no then, even though you don't want your bank account to disappear. Did it happen?
Oh, exactly how they say.
I'm asking you, do you honestly believe it took place?
Oh, like I said, update the Wikipedia, check the number, changes all the time. But whatever they say, it's not one over or one under.
Okay, so that means you do believe it happened. Am I correct?
Of course.
That didn't sound very convincing, Trump. That didn't sound convincing at all. Do you believe what the Jewish community is saying was bestowed upon them, which was nothing but sheer evil, do you believe they're telling the truth about that?
Yeah, exactly how they say. One day, for no reason at all, 99% of people in Germany decided to vote for this deeply anti-Semitic man for no reason. The war happened, and then everyone said, "Oh, we're sorry," and then that's went back to normal, and that's exactly what happened.
So if you,
it's illegal to talk about in 33
okay, so
33 modern countries.
well, let's take it from your own personal standpoint. What do you think happened back then?
Partially what that guy said was true. I was listening on that. He did say like they did just ask a few of these Jewish people to just work a little bit. And, they got really angry. They kicked out the Rothschild Bank.
You said they just asked a few Jewish people to work a little bit. Oh my God.
Tim, I have a bank account. They're going to shut off the water to my house just like they're doing Gaza. You're killing me. Like I said, not one over, not one under. One day for no reason is all. I'll deny the Russian genocide. Yeah, it didn't happen. The Armenian genocide didn't happen. That's all fair, you know.
All right.
This whole...
All right, we can okay. Let's go back to the topic. All right, I get it. You don't feel comfortable discussing the topic. We'll continue on. So let's take the side topic. Do you think Louisiana is making a good choice in giving 18-year-olds the right to carry concealed at their 18th birthday without a permit?
Yeah, like the other guy said, I mean, in Chicago, you're going to run into a 14-year-old with a clock with a switch. So, like, why not, like, have an 18-year-old who likely, I mean, I don't see, like, an 18-year-old going through the process. Like, this is, like, it's not tough to acquire one of those. They're not easy.
Yeah, but I mean, even, keep in mind, a lot of these folks that are committing mass casualty events, take Uvalde or Highland, Illinois, they were legal, very young, by the way. Some of them are damn near in that age category, legal gun owners that did not commit any crime until they started actively shooting people. Do you think the maturity is there for an 18-year-old to have a lethal device in his hand?
I don't think it would affect any sort of like mass casualty stuff. A lot of those people are seem to have a lot of other issues other than, I mean, you know, it seems like if you're in a situation like that and you're looking to do something like that, I mean, it seems like they're trying to hand you the guns at this point. They're going to be shoving the guns down your throat. And, you know, so I don't even think you can pass all the rules you want. I still think, you know, they have some troubled kid that they find. They're just going to, you know, send him a bunch of money, give him some guns. And
now, okay, fair enough. Now, we started out the conversation talking about voting for Trump. J.R. Cost, thank you for the super chat on YouTube, said Trump is a disgrace to his family and everyone in America. MAGA is a disgrace. Now, you're MAGA, correct?
Oh yeah, hard Trump. I think Trump should honestly like be the king of America. Like this whole like listen to that last voter you had, not the one before that, but 2 voters ago, Tay. Like the fact that her vote counts the same as mine. Like, are you joking? Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like,
what do you want? You want some type of poll test where you test the education of the person before they can vote?
I don't know. I mean, and that's probably wouldn't be good either. I think it would just. I don't know. I don't think in the Constitution it says everyone can vote. I mean, you know, I don't know.
Wait. You said you don't. Wait, hold on. You said you don't believe in the Constitution that says everyone can vote. What do you think is in there?
Well, I don't think the founding fathers decided, like, or like had in mind that like we were going to be shipping all these people to our country, nationalizing them with a stamp of a paper, like. The idea that it was just going to be like the landowners pretty much voting.
Well, but you well, shit, exactly. The founding fathers only wanted white male landowners to vote. You think they got it right?
Well, if you look at those people and you look at what they're voting, I would prefer it to what they have now. Like, and So
you would be.
I mean, I would prefer that. I mean,
so you would let me make sure I'm getting clear.
I prefer what they're voting for over than what we have now.
Right. So you would prefer as opposed to what we're doing right now in 2024. You think a system where white male landowners are the only ones that could vote would probably be a better system for this country?
No, I mean that sounds like awful.
That sounds like what you said. Listen, you know we don't censor. We're gonna let you speak.
I don't believe that's not like if I was king, I wouldn't make that. But I'm just saying like opposed to like I'm looking at what we had then versus what we had now. Like, you know.
What do we have now, in your opinion, that's so problematic that white male landowners only being the only ones that can vote is probably a better system in your opinion? What do we have now that's so problematic?
Well, now your average 18-year-old girl is highly politicized. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about half the time. They get their political jargon, is as far as they can go.
You're wait a minute. You started out the conversation. Okay, you're in the conversation suggesting that 18-year-old women are the mindset of them, but you just agreed to give them a gun. You just agreed that you're okay with giving these same folks a gun, but a ballot is too dangerous? You'd rather give them a gun than a ballot, huh?
I don't know about an 18-year-old woman with a gun. It depends. I mean, we're shipping in these people from Haiti. Like, look at what's going on with Haiti. We're shipping in people from Haiti and Venezuela. Like, yeah, I would want my 18-year-old girl to have a gun. These people are like eating people. And, I remember we had this conversation. I said, beware. Like, this is coming. And,
wait a minute. You believe the folks coming? Wait, hold on, hang on. You believe the folks coming in from Haiti are cannibals?
Well, that's what's happening. That's not me saying it. This is what they're putting on the news. Like they're shipping in tons of people from Venezuela, Haiti, and they're not eating steak and chicken. They're eating grandma.
I gotta go anytime. You're always a controversial caller. I don't agree with any of that shit, but come on back.
And I love everyone. Like I love black people. I love Mexicans, all this stuff. But I just think America should be for Americans and like not for everyone else. We're the only country in the world that's required to take on an endless stream of immigration, endless
all right.
Just endless diversity. It's like, what other country needs that or is required to have that?
Endless.
Name one. You can't.
All right.
Except for like Ireland and stuff.
Okay. I gotta go. Look, you know how we do. Appreciate you coming in. Wow. Endless diversity. What other country needs that? Looking in the comments. Wow, that was interesting. Bro, no way these bots are real. That is a real person that was just talking. What do I say when what the hell do you folks think I mean when I say an uncensored program where everyone is allowed to speak? DJ Julio, thank you for that TikTok cap. When we say uncensored, folks, damn it, we mean it. Left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with QAnon. This is an uncensored. Look, there are a lot of places you can go all over social media if you enjoy hearing opinions that sound like your own. We don't do that here. We don't tell people what they should say or how they should think. It's all about hearing what your point of view is. That's how the program has always been ran, always will be. Program is MAGA friendly. You know how we do it. Liberals are welcome as well. Smash that like button on TikTok. Tap the screen. On TikTok, rather, smash that like button on YouTube. We do run a simulcast on both, so you will hear me often refer to both programs together. DJ Julio, certainly thank you for the crown. Moving the program on to the one and only DJ Julio. Good afternoon. Why not Trump?
Well, again, like I said before, because he's gonna clear up the border issue. He's gonna close it. He's gonna make our economy better. You don't want that. You want exactly what we have now. Gas prices are gonna go down if we vote him in.
So in other words, he's the guy. How do you respond to folks like what I was just talking to, who don't even believe what happened in 1930s Germany is real?
I ain't got much to say. He's free to have his opinion. He may vote for Trump as well. He may be MAGA as well. Doesn't mean he's going to be at my dinner table because I don't like divisive rhetoric.
Yeah, but he's at your rallies, and he's not the only. I've had a lot of callers that say that, and they're generally MAGA. Why is it that mindset seems to affiliate with the MAGA side of the crowd?
I feel like a lot of people, especially 40, 42 and younger, a lot of people that are on the Republican side right now, they're going to get as divisive as they can because that's what they get from the other sides, whether it be Democrat or liberal. I mean, shit. I'm a mixed American. I've got a Native American descent. I've got a Mexican descent, and because I vote for Trump on this platform, on your live, on other lives, I've been called a racist, and it's like you know nothing about me, person that's saying that. You know nothing about me. Nothing about
let me interrupt, and I will say this, and I agree with you that throwing around a racist term to every damn body can really dilute the term itself. But like I always say, if you are a conservative, Republican, or MAGA, and you debate with liberals, somebody eventually is going to call you a racist, because racist is what liberals use to demonize the folks on the right. However, if you are a liberal and you're debating with folks on the right, they're going to eventually call you a socialist because they do the same thing. Liberals use racism to demonize conservatives, and conservatives use socialism to demonize liberals. Both sides do it. I mean, you got
100%.
Yeah, so I agree with you. It's wrong to call everybody a damn racist, but you also would agree it's wrong to call everybody a socialist, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I don't do that. I don't have that conversation. Most of my friends, most of the people that I spend my day with lean liberal. They lean Democrat. They don't always agree with what I have to say about things, but they understand it when I'm done talking about it because I talk about it in a respectful way. The same way you do, Tim. The same way most of your guests do when they do come up here. Some are a little bit
flamboyant.
Like that last guy. I don't disagree with him not wanting to talk about, Germany. That's we shouldn't be talking about any of those countries. We should be talking about America. How do we fix this? How do we fix our conversation? And you're starting it, Tim.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and that is the goal: is to get dialogue floating between both sides of the aisle, or better yet, all sides, because there are libertarians, independents, and folks in there as well. But that doesn't mean pretending like history didn't exist. What happened in 1930s Germany, 1930 and 1940s Germany, that happened. There are folks who are suggesting it didn't take place.
Right, but if it did happen, is it happening now?
No, but neither is tyranny.
So if it's not happening now, Tim, then why talk about it? Let's talk about something that's happening now that's going to be beneficial to that topic.
So wait. So when you see someone, for instance, let's say waving a Confederate flag, that didn't happen now. So you tell them put the flag away. That happened in the past. It's not happening now.
No, I don't engage. It's not my business. I will have a conversation with the person if it come up to me. I had just for instance, I finished up my day early yesterday plumbing. And I went down to my buddy who owns two tattoo shops in the area, and I'm sitting out front, and we have Native Americans that walk by his business every day. Some homeless, some not, some drunk. Well, most of them are. And this one's walking by, and he's got an upside down American flag.
In distress.
I was like, you know what? He's right. We are in distress. America is in a distressed state right now. We cannot seem to talk to each other.
Yeah. Well, we got to find leadership. We got to find leadership that is in favor of us coming together. I don't know if that's on the horizon there, Julio. I give you the last word. I do got to move it on, but we got to find, because unity starts at the top. If division is being promoted from the top, you're not going to unify from the bottom. Last word's yours.
Right. So that's why I tried to get back into the chat right away, because you was talking to that Asante earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Who was talking about Trump's not for the people, he's about his money. Trump's not for the people, he's about this. Trump's not for the people, he's about that. If you get off of regular news and you start watching some of these Trump rallies, you'll watch where Trump stops an entire rally while a man or a woman, I don't remember which one it was having a heart attack. He stopped.
I saw that.
while they took care of that man. You'll see where he recognized somebody who was preaching in his community about Donald Trump.
Yeah, but Julio, they're going to bring up, him not renting to color folks or Atlantic City casinos or contractors not getting paid. There are counterpoints to be made. That's all I'm saying. There are counterpoints where he didn't apparently care about people.
And that's why I want him as a president, because he is about money. He is about our money. He wants to make America's balance sheets correct once more time.
All right. Well, we'll see.
There was a time where we were only $2 trillion in debt. I think that's what his goal is to get us back down towards $2 trillion.
Well, they all say that until they get in office, and then we see what happens. But I got to move it on, Julio. You know how we do it. Thank you for coming through. All right, looking in the comment section, no, he rose to debt. And that's what Nikki Haley was pounding in, is that the national debt went up under Trump. But some folks are going to bring up the pandemic, the stimulus checks that we all needed and things like that. He had a unique presidency where he had to deal with a major event that most presidents do not have to deal with. And the counter is he handled it miserably. Regardless of how you feel about Trump, I would hesitate to really entertain anyone that thinks he handled the pandemic well. Whether you think we should get vaccinations or not, whether you think things should close down or not, Trump is on both sides of every issue. He's out there saying it should be up to you to get vaccinated. He's out there saying you shouldn't get vaccinated, or whatever the case may be. He's out there saying we can't close things down. He's out there. So his handling of the pandemic is murky at best. Going back to the box, is it cool if I can talk to you, says Matthew? Yeah, it is. No Republicans have lowered the deficit, only raised it. Biden's going to keep putting us in debt and keep sending money to help other countries. I don't think you're going to get around that with Trump. I get that he's saying that, but I do believe if President Trump gets reelected, we're still going to be sending money to help countries. You may favor the money he's sending to certain locations, but we will still be sending money to help other countries under Trump. Maybe less of it. Maybe we won't help certain countries and we'll help others, but the idea that America's not going to help anyone at all overseas if Trump gets reelected, I think that's a stretch. Going back to the box, Kurt Green, why should we not consider reelecting Trump? What's wrong with putting Trump back in office? Looks like the box is not going to let Kurt up. We'll give it a second. If not, we'll continue moving on. I don't know if he dropped out or not. Real quick, looking on, I don't know what I just hit on YouTube. Trying to make the program go. I hit something where it says chat hidden. Trump will send money to California, a communist country. I don't quite get that. You bet your ass if Trump gives another country money, he will get something in return. That's why a lot of folks favor Trump. Is as a businessman, he's not just going to give things away, he's going to get something in return. A lot of folks would agree with that. Looking in the comments real quick, Name Barber. What y'all got the bar in, what y'all got the bar in hell if not letting someone die is showing you care? He saw what happened to Travis Scott. The way you type that name, you got to retype that. And by the way, you own, I guess, do your own research and can't confirm the Holocaust. Name, I'll leave that alone. Going back to the box, can you not confirm what happened to the Jewish people? Inc. Good afternoon, welcome to the program. Why should I not consider voting for Trump?
To be honest, there's not a reason not to. Don't get me wrong. Like, everybody's preaching about racism. That's all anybody want to talk about. I'm a veteran. I'm a blue collar worker. I in construction for a living. I work. And what people need to understand is you got to live in reality. Everybody's talking about he racist. If you look back and do your history as a black man, as anybody want to say is a racism thing, as a black man, go back in history. Joe Biden was using the hard R on the Senate floor. He was with the riots when we decided to integrate schools. He was outside with baseball bats with the rest of the white men trying to keep us out.
Wow.
So racism has no thing. Don't put that in front of somebody and talk about racism when at the end of the day, the man you got in office, the man you talking so highly of, was kicking you down and trying to keep you from getting educated.
So let me ask you this: why do you think? And I'm talking everyone from who would be out right now? Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Ben Crump. Why do you think all of the modern civil rights leaders that are still living affiliate with the Democratic Party? I mean, if like what you're mentioning with Biden, you're suggesting that he's a racist and has a history of racism. Why wouldn't most black civil rights leaders be under Trump? Why wouldn't they be running as Republicans? Why do you think that is?
Because and it's not even as a black thing. We're gonna say as an American, because that's what we all are. We all live here together, we live here, and we breathe and die here together. That's just it. We're all here as Americans together. But
wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Ink. We have always been Americans from the founding fathers on out. But we know the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement is a real thing. Why are they affiliating with the Democratic Party and not the Republican Party?
To be on that, sir, I cannot speak specifically from the words of why are they associating, because at the end, when we have Democrats and Republicans, we're already dividing ourselves. We've already started off wrong, because we should live under one roof, one house, one rule. This is America. We got to live here together. So as a family, if you're a parent, or as you would have children, you have rules of your house. Our president is over the house, so he has rules. Understand, we all live by our rules. That's why people go to jail, everything, crime, everything. You know, we try to fix it, but we can't. We got to worry about America. We're too worried about taking care of other countries. We can't even take care of our own people. Why do we have starving people on our country street, walking the streets, starving, hungry, and no housing? But you can turn around and we can send billions to other countries. I understand other countries need help, but we can't.
Wait, hold on. Ink, you don't know the answer to that? Why we got starving folks, but yet we're sending money to... I said this on every broadcast. We are a capitalist nation. What do capitalists like? They like to profit. They like to make money. Fact is, when we send money to countries overseas, it's not helping them out. It's an investment. We get to put bases in their country. We get to claim favors when they get back on their feet. The reason we don't help out Americans is there's no money to be made in doing it. We're going to continue sending...
favors helping us Americans. We live in every day. It's not got no better.
You're not hearing it. I don't think you heard what I just said. The reason we don't...
We can ask for favors and stuff when they get back on their feet. I understand what you're creating allies. But at the end of the day, how are we going to help invest in somebody else and you can't even invest in our own place?
Because of what I just said. If we help out the Ukrainians, for instance, by giving them weapons, that allows us to test out weapons, test out new technology. So when it's time for Raytheon or Lockheed Martin or Boeing to sell the next weapon, they can show footage of how it was used on the Russians and how effective it is. We're not helping the Ukrainians out. That is an investment. If they help out homeless in Los Angeles, they don't get a return on their money. That's why they're sending money overseas.
See, that's where they don't see. They would get a return. If you bring people up, like you said, when we bring them up, we ask for favors, right? If we bring up our own people, that's more people to work. That's more money being pushed back in our economy to fix us.
Yeah, but
our money, our streets, our like, look at everything around us. There's homes that are falling down that people live in that look like nobody should ever. They should have been condemned. But nobody cares. We walk past it every day.
Then let's take the argument you're making where we should invest in our own people as opposed to helping folks out overseas. I want to ask you a few questions. First of all, if you believe we should invest in our own people, why are the Republicans against tuition forgiveness and giving folks free college, which would help our own people? Why are they against universal health care, which would overwhelmingly help out Americans, food stamp programs, free lunch in schools? Why are they against all of this if you want to help out Americans?
Sir, because that lines their pockets. They are worried about self-interest in them. We have nobody that even speaks for us wholly. Like, let's be honest. When's the last time you seen Trump work a whole day shift, 12 hours? Worked his butt off? Never have, because he come up in money. Joe Biden, his dad was in before him. He come from money. Nobody that we have in office has ever come from nothing.
So when folks say that Trump is the one that cares about the American people, What say you?
I would love to, sir. I would run today, to be honest with you. But the point of it is, nobody's going to back me because
That ain't what I asked you. Folks are suggesting that Trump cares about the typical American man. I'm asking you why folks on the right are not in favor of social programs that would overwhelmingly help Americans. You said we need to stop sending money overseas and help out Americans here.
And that needs to be fixed too, sir. Everything needs to be fixed. We got to change our way of thinking all the way in the government. The government is not thinking.
But when you say it needs to be fixed, every program I named, the Democrats are in favor of and the Republicans are against. Why is that?
Sir, I guess it's their way of thinking. It's just the way that they thought, they were raised, they've learned. Because just like racism, when you're a child, no child is racist. That is taught. That is.
Why do they think so? So why do you think there is a different? When I mentioned programs that would predominantly help out Americans, particularly those that are less fortunate, that the Republicans are against and Democrats favor. You said it's their way of thinking. Why do you think they have such a different viewpoint on that stuff?
I wish I understood that too, sir. I wish I knew how to answer that question for you.
Right.
I really do, because if I did, then you know what I'm saying. I feel like I would have more of an understanding. I just don't understand how we can do so much for other people, but we do so little for us, for our own people. I just don't understand that.
So
We're supposed to love and care for thy neighbor.
I agree. I agree. Well, I do have to move it on, but in conclusion, I would ask you then, based on the programs and things I just mentioned, and the fact that one side favors those programs and another side does not, if you are the common man that is in need of a little bit of assistance, you mentioned homelessness and things like that, which party do you believe you should vote for?
To be honest, sir, the greater the two evils to me right now, I would vote for Trump. And that's just the way I'm a black man, and I would vote for Trump just because the way the economy was. Like I said, I work for a living. I work my butt off. I got kids, wife, everything. And I was doing so much better in life. I work my butt off 80 hours a week and still struggle. Like that should not be real.
Okay.
Like somebody that works and breaks their back to help move this country forward. Everybody works in this country. Every time they go to work, they are producing this country forward.
So speaking of,
you shouldn't have to struggle.
I agree. Going to work every day, you should not have to struggle. You and I agree on that. So what if you're going to work every day, you're earning minimum wage, and you think you shouldn't have to struggle, so you're asking for them to raise minimum wage? Which party should you vote for?
Raise the minimum wage?
Yeah. You don't want to struggle. You're working every day. You want to make more money. Who should you vote for?
Well, sir, both sides of the greater two evil. The blue likes certain stuff, the red likes certain
We're talking about money. We're talking about money, not certain stuff. You want to raise in wages. Who should you vote for?
Raising wages, I'm going to say Donald Trump, because he's going to drill, baby, drill. That's more money in our economy. That's money here at home.
So if you drill, baby, drill, and have more energy independence, and you're working in a minimum wage job, you believe that will make the wage go up?
Yes, sir. I do.
And you would favor that.
More people incentive. It gives them more incentive to go to work.
And you would favor doing that as opposed to simply passing a law to tell your employer you got to pay them more. You would rather go around the way and do it that way than just simply having a law that your employer got to pay you more.
Well, we already know the way the laws work with everything we put through anyway. It's not going to go. So a law, it could take 3 years for them to pass that.
Not if you got the right party in office.
Well, you got to also get enough numbers on your side of the party too.
Okay, well, if you're trying to get numbers, let's take your statement. You got to get enough numbers to get this done. If you're trying to get numbers, what type of politician should you be voting for to get those numbers? Liberal or a Democrat or a Republican? You want to get the numbers to get this wages up in terms of having a law you said that's hard to get passed. Should you be voting Democrat or Republican?
I'm going to say Republican.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I do got to move it on, though. Ink, appreciate you coming through. Always welcome back.
You have a great day.
You too. You too. Appreciate you folks that have been tuning in. He don't know what he wants. Alverick, yikes, he's lost. You guys are horrible to my guests. Be kind to the guests. Rudolph Jackson. He is voting against his own interests, says Stumpy. Wow, you guys are mean. Republicans don't like each other? Holy shit. Have you been to a Trump rally? They all do seem to love each other. So, and I've been to a Trump rally myself personally. It was interesting. It was very interesting. He needs to think. Terrence Story, by the way, thank you for that subscription. You being the subscriber of the day, I do appreciate that. Typical MAGA voting against their own interests. You guys really tore Vince trying to be convincing. Says Sam. Anyhow, folks, appreciate the 95,000 likes. We came close to 100,000 in the likes. A lot of you folks did tap the screen despite TikTok interrupting the program. So you know I always appreciate you folks showing the program love by smashing that screen on TikTok, and my YouTubers certainly smash that like button as well. It always helps out the algorithm on the program, brings in more MAGA. You know how the program is always favorable to MAGA. We believe everybody should be able to speak. Certainly on TikTok, tap the screen. We always ask that. Real quick in the comments section, red hats are white hoods in disguise. Yikes! When you see a MAGA hat, you view it as synonymous with a white hood, preferably in a triangular shape. Really? Wow. By way of yes or no, and I'm assuming I'm going to get a hell of a lot of no's in the comments. How many of you folks affiliate the red hat with a damn white hood? Yes or no? I'm assuming most of you are going to say no. You would never affiliate a red hat with a white hood. I'm going to look in the comments because I can't believe that was just said. Wow. I see an ample amount of both. Wow. White hood. Klansman. You go to a Trump rally, you imagine you're looking at a bunch of wow, and there's a lot of comments coming in. That's concerning, particularly for those who are going to ultimately support President Trump. I'm not going to defend that image, but I will tell you this: from the MAGA side of the aisle, you have to understand perception is reality, just like folks perceive the Democrats to be socialists. Perception is reality, whether it's true or not. So in closing the program, I will say that the folks on the right need to find out what they can do to get that image off of them. Simply blaming it on the media or uneducated voters may be true, but that's not going to, at the end of the day, that's not going to convert into assistance at the ballot box. You need to get that. That's bad. That's really bad. A lot of folks said yes, and my audience has a hell of a lot of MAGA in it. And a lot of folks are saying yes, they affiliate this hat with a white hood. Yes, that's the new Klan gear, says Minnesota Finn. Yikes. Whether or not you or I believe that he is racist, racists sure think he is, says Ryan Oldies. For lack of a better phrase, I can't deny that. And when it comes to neo-Nazi movements and white supremacists and things like that, I don't think any of them has ever been caught hanging around a Biden gathering. There's not a lot of Biden gatherings out there or Biden rallies out there. But when you see Biden and Biden supporters get together, you don't see or hear white supremacists talking about we need to reelect Biden. You don't see that. That is a valid point to be made. I mean, whether we look at Trump as doing more for black people, Trump trying to bring the country together, but for some reason, these neo-Nazi movements and white supremacists, they do for some reason believe that Trump is on their side. That is something that needs to be cleared up by the president or the former president himself. I can't speak on it, but that perception for a lot of voters, constituents out there is reality. Looking in the comments, Andrew Alex says, truth is truth. Sympathizing for votes can get you messed up real quick, says Big Nasty. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. Trump never tried to bring the country together. Strong economy, that could do it inadvertently. Trump reaching out to blacks, vote for me. What do you have to lose? He made some effort. I don't believe the tweets and insults helped, but he did make some efforts. He said himself, there were a lot of good people on both sides in Charlottesville. That is a fact. He did say that. Stimulus checks. Well, yeah, stimulus checks are certainly going to bring everybody together. I know shit on that. Oddly enough, there's a hell of a lot of people who believe that Trump gave the money for the stimulus checks out of his own damn pocket. Wow. I don't know what else to say with that, but I do want to conclude by saying thank you, folks, for tapping the screen. TikTok, well over 106,000 likes despite the interruption. Absolutely appreciate it. Always a pleasure talking to you. 1 p.m. Central. I'll see you tomorrow. And for my YouTube viewers, absolutely a hell of a lot of participation today. You know we run an uncensored program. Left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with QAnon. I think we certainly put that on display today because we covered a host of topics and had a hell of a lot of different opinions. Catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.